I was talking to my friend the other day, and he does not think that I can make an email marketing campaign that has the potential to generate millions of dollars in just 1 hour.
There's no way. In an hour?
An hour, done.
Give it a shot.
I'll do it today and I'll send it to you. But I've done it before and I'll do it again. So in this video, I'm going to be building an email marketing campaign from scratch that I know will convert like crazy. So let's start the timer. It's currently 8:57 in the morning. Let's get to it. So to kick things off, I've put together this checklist of all the things that are required to build $1 million email campaign in just 1 hour. And I know this works because I've helped over 180 e-commerce brands generate over $80 million from email marketing using this exact same framework every single time. In November, this current month, we've actually generated over $20 million through the Black Friday sales alone. So this framework has been behind all of our biggest and best campaigns. So let's start with step one, formulating the campaign idea and angle. So today we're going to be doing an email for the brand Oura Ring, the wearable tracker that you wear on your finger, sort of like a competitor to Whoop. And before you write a single line of copy or start trying to think of a design template, you need to get clear on one thing. What is the goal of this email? You need to have one clear goal. And for us, it's going to be why Oura Ring is the #1 wearable tracker of choice. Now, we're just going to position it as exactly this. The goal of this is to build trust and position Oura as the superior choice for wearable trackers in the market. So there's one key goal here, and we've cemented that from the start. Most brands fail here because they don't have a clear goal. They kind of just want to advertise or create some sort of digital billboard, and they end up trying to tackle too many things at once in one single email, and their point gets lost. They don't have a good hook or an angle that entices people to read, and they don't have an understanding of their customer pain point or the awareness of their customers. So the angle that we're going to use here, the #1 wearable tracker, we've chosen this because it ties to the burning question that most people who are exploring wearable trackers have, which is, which one do I choose? Do I go the Apple Watch? Do I go the Garmin? Do I go the Whoop? Do I go the Oura Ring? Which is what we're going to be positioning as today. So we're going with clear differentiation in this campaign with more of an us versus them approach, positioning Oura as the #1 wearable tracker. Now, we know what we're building towards. We have the goal cemented in. Let's figure out exactly who we're talking to, because if you don't nail this next, the copy is not going to land with the reader and it's not going to convert at all. Now, the next biggest thing that most brands mess up is they write their emails for everyone and end up resonating with absolutely no one. If you try to align with everyone, you're not going to be able to really dig your claws into real pain points that your audience or your consumer that you're going over is experiencing. So I've kept this short and sweet. Obviously, if you're a brand, you're a real brand, you're going to have these brand personas in depth. You're going to have your audience and positioning dialed in. You should have big documents going over avatars, USPs, pain points, all this sort of customer research, but we've only got an hour here, so I wanted to keep it short and sweet. Our target audience here, busy entrepreneurs, they're 28 to 45. They know their health is suffering. That is the main thing here. Health is taking a toll, work is coming first, and they're not feeling their best. Family life is suffering, relationships are suffering, work productivity is suffering, and they want to fix it. They don't necessarily want to wear a bulky wrist tracker, or they're sick of their bulky wrist trackers. It's not professional enough for them. So the pain points that we're going to touch on here is obviously the health. This is #1, a really good one to lean into. We're going to allude to the fact that the wearable trackers are not professional and they look tacky in our positioning of Oura, but they're not really sure of the upside they'll get or why they should be choosing Oura, because their awareness level is solution aware. Now, awareness level, it's very important to know your awareness levels. Just to quickly recap on them. Unaware is people don't even know they have a problem. Problem aware, people know they have a problem, but they don't know how to fix it. They're sort of, they're lost. Solution aware, people know they have a problem. People know solutions exist and what the solutions are, but they're not really sure about our product. They haven't heard of our product. They don't know what it is. So for the purpose of this campaign, we're going to be assuming that. Next would be product aware. So when people know about your product, so they know their problem, they know the solutions, and they know what your product is. Obviously, this is an email campaign, so this would only go to people on our email list, so we could actually infer that most people are going to be product aware. But just for the purpose of writing copy that stings home a little bit and really goes for the comparison, I kind of like taking the approach of solution aware more so. It's a given that these people are product aware, like they're on your email list, but I really want to go for solution aware because they might not know why Oura Ring is the #1 choice or how it differs from the other wearable trackers in the market, which is going to be really important for the angle we're taking with the campaign here. Now, your last awareness level is your most aware. These are your customers who pretty much know everything. They know the problem, they know the solution, they like your product, they're pretty much ready to purchase. Now, that's not what we're going to be targeting here. Like I said, we're going to stick to solution aware. The people, they know they have a problem, they haven't tried our solution, and they're not really sold on the longevity of an awareness tracker or how it could potentially help them. So we have the goal of the campaign. We know exactly who we're talking to and the awareness level that they have. And now we need to go and craft the copy that is going to be the backbone of the email that we create. And this is where most people get stuck. They either stare at a blank page for hours and they want to be old school and try write their copy from scratch, or they go to ChatGPT, they put in a useless prompt and it spits out some AI slop that doesn't even make sense. But I'm going to show you exactly how we knock this out using a simple framework and AI to speed up the writing process and to actually make it as dialed in as possible. So for the purpose of this, we're going to be using Claude. I've found it's the best for writing copy right now. Other people like Gemini, other people like ChatGPT. I find Claude is the best. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to go and get my internal copywriting SOP. So this is what we use to train people on copywriting in-house. You've turned this into a full SOP. Now, when you actually give this to AI, it becomes an absolute weapon. So I'm firstly going to upload this into Claude and say, this is the research I've done on Aura Ring to create an email campaign positioning themselves as the #1 wearable tracker. We really want to appeal to the health suffering side / pain of a busy entrepreneur. We want the email to follow this structure. Subject, preview, hero section, body sections, particularly incorporate an easy us versus them CTAs throughout. Write the copy for this campaign. I'm simply just going to do this. I've given it the research. It's got the full copywriting SOP. That makes things really easy. So let's bang through this. See what it generates. Now, the key is we're obviously going to want to tweak this output, but with really good prompts and really good SOPs and documents that you give AI, it's gotten so good at following these that you can get a good baseline draft using your internal resources, which you should have. Obviously, lucky for me, for the purpose of this 1 hour campaign, I have internal resources ready and available. All right. Great. Now let's look at the copy here. So I like what I'm seeing already. All right. Built for founders, not for fitness influencers. I love it. We're positioning ourselves as the solution for them, the busy entrepreneur. The only wearable that tracks your health without looking like you're training for a triathlon. See why founders choose Aura. This is great. I absolutely love this. You didn't start a company to burn out before 40, but here's what's actually happening. 4 hours of sleep, back-to-back calls, skip meals, a resting heart rate you haven't checked in months. Your business is scaling, your body is paying the tab. Most wearables were designed for athletes, big, bulky, screaming, I track my steps in every investor meeting. You're not training for an Ironman, you're trying to survive Q4 without your doctor sending you a strongly worded letter. You don't need a wrist computer, you need answers delivered quietly without the gym bro aesthetic. What you're used to. Us versus them, I'm going to tweak this section a bit. I actually want this to be an infographic table we use in the email that goes Aura, typical wrist trackers, whatever else there is. And we're going to do things that way. What you actually get, sleep that finally makes sense, deep sleep, REM, restlessness, the data that explains. We need an actionable thing here though. I don't actually like what you actually get. Change this section to be actionable insights. What they can actually get or easily improve by using Aura. It's one thing to understand the data. It's another to use it to help improve. So I really, for these busy entrepreneurs, we want them to know that they can easily create actionable insights that are going to help them improve their health. It's one thing to just, they can sit there and they can understand the data, but I really want to appeal to the ease of taking action here. So let's start, while it's doing that, let's just start with the subject line. 4 hours of sleep isn't a flex, your body is keeping score, burning out isn't a growth strategy, you're not tired, you're redlining. The real cost of Series B, founders don't wear fitness trackers. I like that. Let's call them straight out. Now, I know I said we want to be specific as possible, but founders is still a really tight niche. It's, there's only a really select few people in that. So I want to find something a little less specific. Serious people don't wear fitness trackers. That's good. I like that. Let's rock with this. Serious people. I'm going to make a copy tab here for us to run off with when we're using the design. So serious people don't wear fitness trackers. The tracker that looks like jewelry, not a gadget. All right, this is a good start. I like this. Now let's go through the sections one by one and map out what we like and what we don't like. So hero section, built for professionals, not for fitness influencers. The only wearable that tracks your health without looking like you're training for a triathlon. See why founders choose Aura. Intro, you didn't start a company to burn out before 40, but here's what's actually happening. So we've got this intro here. You didn't start a company to burn out before 40, but you can't run from the truth. So let's not run from the truth. You're getting 4 hours of sleep, sitting through back-to-back calls, skipping meals, your resting heart rate is climbing every month. Your business is scaling, your body is paying the tab. Now we're gonna have an image somewhere in here, but just for the purpose of this copy, we're going to have 2 of these sections first. Most wearables were designed for athletes. Big, bulky, screaming, I track my steps in every investor meeting. You're not training for an Ironman. You're trying to survive Q4 without your doctor sending you a strongly worded letter. You don't need a wrist computer. You need answers. You need answers and insights without the gym bro aesthetic. Okay, I like that. We might even tweak some of this when it comes to the design. I'm going to save the us versus them for when we're actually doing the design, because I'm going to make this into a bit of an infographic table. I don't necessarily need that copy because we're going to use visuals to communicate. Body section 3, what you'll actually change. Okay, schedule your hardest days around your best sleep. Aura shows you which nights actually restored you so you can book investor calls after a 4-hour night. So you can stop booking. Nice. Investor calls after a 4-hour night and wondering why you're bombed. Know when to skip the 6 a.m. workout. Your recovery score tells you if today's a push harder day or you'll set yourself back a weekday. Stop guessing, stop overtraining, stop feeling worse after the gym. Catch burnout before it catches you, or tracks your stress patterns over weeks, not just moments. You'll see the trend line creeping up before you hit the wall, enough time to actually do something about it. Stop wondering why you're dragging at 2 p.m. When you see your deep sleep was 23 minutes last night, you don't blame your willpower. You reschedule the afternoon, drink the extra water, and protect tomorrow night. This is good. Now, lastly, let's go the social proof and the closing. I'm just going to copy these in so we can get started on the design because we are pressed for time. I've tried every tracker. Yep, this is really good. We have a real insight or a real review from people within our target audiences. Now, obviously, these are just made up, but if I was this brand Aura, I'd go and hunt for these reviews. My wife thought it was my wedding ring. That's the point. That's good. Closing. You're not going to suddenly become a morning yoga person, but you can stop guessing why you feel like garbage by 2 p.m. Or it gives you the data. What you do with it is up to you. Find your ring. Pretty good. I might tweak that once we get to the design. So we have the copy. I'm happy with this as a base. Obviously, I like to tweak things once it's in the design phase based on what the email is looking like. Sometimes when you start to design this up, you realize that you've got too much copy in specific sections or it doesn't flow well. So let's just get this onto the design canvas. So we're going to go ahead, jump over to Figma and start designing there. Now, design is crucial for all of your emails. This copy, it's great, but if you can't visually bring it to life, you're going to be doing it a disservice. Let's get into the design. I want to be really clear that you don't need an art degree or years of experience in graphic design to make visually appealing emails. You just need a very good system that is easy to use, which is exactly what we have. So I'm going to show you my favorite way to design emails quickly and easily. All right, so we've opened the blank Figma file here. We're going to use our templating system to create the email that we need super easily. So we have this thing called sections. I'm going to use this brand called Aurora as a bit of inspo here. Just they're a client of ours. I think they have a very similar aesthetic in terms of what we're trying to go for here with Aura. Now, let's get into it. So firstly, I'm going to create the section that I want just as a bit of a hero. I'm going to use this as a template. Let's go to the Aura Ring website. Now, hypothetically, we're designing for a brand. Majority of the time, we have all our branding already saved and down pat. So for the purposes of this video, I'm going to assume that the color scheme we're using here is completely fine. Just because loading in branding and stuff is the thing that can take a bit of time up front, time which we don't have right now. So I'm just going to grab a logo. Because like I said, we don't have the branding handy for this client right now. So well, for Aura, they're not a client of ours. So I'm just going to use the color scheme and the typography of Aura and use the associated logos of Aura. We're up and running. Now, we obviously want to use our own images. So I'm just going to design step by step, section by section. So let's start with the hero section here. Built for professionals, not for fitness influencers. Let me select. You can tell I don't live in Figma very much, and that's a testament to how quickly we're going to do this campaign. The only wearable that tracks your health without looking like you're training for a triathlon. And then we want the copy to be CY founders choose Aura. For the fill here, we're going to go selection colors. Let's just go a bit of a black for Aura. All right. Now, we need an image of Aura. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab this hero image. I'm going to take a screenshot of this. We're going to go to Google Gemini and say, turn this image of Aura Ring into a hero image for an email. Needs to be 600 by 600 following same aesthetic. Let Gemini do its thing. We just want to get a nice image of the Aura Ring, but let's start on the next section. So we're going to duplicate this. This is where it gets cool with our system. We're going to duplicate this. We're going to turn these into auto layout, add auto layout. We're going to create the frame. We're going to make them hug under each other. Drop this spacing down to 0. Now we can actually turn each of these sections into another section that we have in our file. So if we go to on brand, we can grab anything here. So I'm going to go one column. This is just going to be like this. Very good. For the fill, let's keep it let's go the white background here. Now let's go back to our copy intro. You didn't start a company to burn out before 40, so let's not blah blah. Let's just get this in. We don't need the header section here, and we can remove this button at the bottom. Where is this? Didn't really work. I need to find a good photo of Aura Ring. This is so cool. I wish I could just pull these for the email somehow easily. Does Aura Ring have like a product page? I might need to change the layout of the hero image we have. Go for something a little more applicable. Aura Ring 4. Let's go to the Aura Ring 4. Conscious that I'm wasting too much time hunting for images. But let's find a good image. This'll do. I'm just going to grab a screenshot for the purpose of this campaign. Now, I actually want to change this hero image. Let's go with this one. All right, we've had an image change. We've had a change of plans. We're going to restructure things just based on the photos we can find. Now you can tell I'm not a native Figma designer, which hopefully reinforces my point. Now let's get this copy in that we want again. Built for professionals, not for fitness influencers. Get this copy in. Cool. Now let's sort this coloring out. Cool. All right, we have our reinvented hero section. I don't love the colors here, so let's fix this up as well. I'm just going to steal colors the bootleg way like this. Just want to tidy up the spacing. All right, there we go. Now we've got that down pat. We've got the body section in here. Now let's talk about the problem. I actually might do the us versus them section first. I told you I might adapt some of this copy based on what things are looking like at the time of creating, but let's go to components and let's get something good. All right, so I'm going to want to grab an us versus them section. Now we have us versus them full campaigns. Obviously I want to move this out and just grab a section that we want. And we're going to pull this over here. I can get rid of the rest of this now. So pretty much just grab the section that we want from another email in our templates. And I'm just going to add it in like this. Now let's get back to the designing. What was the copy? I didn't design the copy for the us versus them. So let's just go the Aura. I actually like this typography much better. Now we want to design an us versus them section, something that is applicable for Aura. Now we're about like, I don't know, 25 minutes in-ish to this. So we've still got a bit of time to burn to get to an hour. So I don't want to rush through this too much, but it does feel like I'm wasting a bit of time here just setting up this file, but that's the reality. Like I said, when you actually work on a brand where you have a lot of this stuff handy, it makes life a lot easier, or you've already set up your brand guidelines. It just makes life like way easier. So let's actually go the blue button here because that's what Aura had on their website. So let's just rock with that. Obviously want to change the CTA here, just bumming around here, making sure we get this right. Cool. I'm going to make this section that same blue. All right. Now let's talk about the Aura difference. So what do we want to actually be comparing here? Like I said, I didn't really design an us versus them section in the copy because I wanted to see how it would look visually. Create section for us versus them. Key call outs on the difference between Aura and other wrist wearables. Poor English again, but I'm in a rush here. In the meantime, we can think of something. Let's go to Aura. Let's see the benefits that they move. It's tough because Aura doesn't really like this is one that qualm I have with Aura's marketing is that they don't, and why I wanted to choose Aura because they don't actually do much of this. Like they don't actually try to compare themselves to others in the industry, like why people should choose Aura. Zero notifications or distractions is a great one, but Aura they don't lean into this enough in my opinion. Like a lot of people in their target audience are choosing between them and someone else. Like that's the reality. They're trying to decide whether or not like they're going to choose Aura or they're going to choose one of their competitors. And Aura does not lean into this in their marketing, which is a big reason why I wanted to make this campaign for Aura. But obviously now I've run into the problem where, well, none of this information is super available. Like Aura doesn't tend to market their differences. So obviously me not having time to do research, I might actually jump back to Gemini in the meantime and just get it to do some deep research. What are the key differences between Aura and Whoop and Apple Watch? It's I need a comparison. So we'll let Gemini sort of cook that up in the background. But yeah, the key here is to just keep moving fast. This blue is kind of annoying me. I don't love this blue. Might go this sort of darker background color here. 0 notifications or distractions. That's a great one. Okay, cool. It didn't start the research. Doesn't replace your watch. Let's just get some in here for now. We only need like 1 or 2 more, to be honest. Someone just write a good blog post. Obviously, if you're working with a brand, you have a very good understanding of the brand already. I'm trying to learn this on the fly. Remember, we're going for the entrepreneur here. These people aren't athletes. They don't need to know like every single little detail about their lives. Like they just need to have a good understanding of their health and actionable insights they can take. Not fully in love with the colors just yet. Much better. All right, we're starting to get a bit of shape to this campaign, finally. What you'll actually change. Let's change this, make it a little more punchy. Data you'll actually implement. We might be able to bin some of this copy. Yeah, let's decide to keep this section simple. What do I appeal visually here? I don't know what's happening with these bloody arrows on the piss. All right. Bit more spacing here. Next section, done. Data you'll actually implement. Social proofs. Let's get 2 reviews in here. Get these 2 reviews in. Gonna leave the names in. It doesn't matter. They're fake reviews anyway. All right. Closing. Not sure of some of the colors here. It's kind of annoying me. If I've learned anything doing this, having dialed brand guidelines really does make a difference to the design. Like you're really designing blind to a degree if the brand doesn't have like a really distinct look and feel. Like we designed so many emails and so much of it is just based on like what we know the brand is supposed to look like. If you're someone who's doing a lot of designing and stuff, like life is so much easier if you have brand guidelines. Now that I have all the copy and stuff in, I just want to take the opportunity to see where I can potentially improve the color schemes here because it's something I'm struggling with, evidently. Not having the Aura brand guidelines or typography or any of that really. Like it's kind of proving to be a bit annoying because it's just not quite coming together when I want it to. So let's work off this. That's looking a bit better already for this top section. The button color is, let's get rid of this blue. Like the blue is what they have on the site, but it's just not really working for us. All right, let's go to the center alignment and see how this pans out. Let's scroll through. All right. Or built for professionals, not for fitness influencers. The only wearable that tracks your health without looking like you're training for a triathlon. The problem, we get it. You're a busy professional looking to advance your career, but who wants to burn out before 40? So let's not run from the truth. You're getting 4 hours of sleep, blah, blah. This copy is very good. I'm loving it. I think this section's a little off. Let's center that. Get rid of that underline. Yeah, let's see. This is starting to come together. This is what we'd like to see. I think this is good. I think this is what we want. Let's sort of prototype this and take a look at the finished product. Now, most of the bobbling around here was to do with the branding. Like I just didn't have the branding handy and that really did cost me. But we're here and we have the finished email. Built for professionals, not for fitness influencers. The only wearable tracker that tracks your health without looking like you're training for a triathlon. I think this is looking super clean. This is a complete email campaign for Aura. I love it. It's looking amazing. It's exactly what we want. Now, setting this up in Klaviyo is the next step. This is the easiest thing to do. People go, how can I get my emails from Figma into Klaviyo? Well, simple. You simply want to highlight all the sections you have here in Figma and you just want to export them. So I export them as a 2x PNG. In the meantime, let's just pull up like a random Klaviyo account here. Let's pull up my burner account and I'll show you exactly how I would set up a campaign. It's super simple. Like it's one of the easiest things that is really overcomplicated for the most part. Create a new campaign. Let's just name it Aura Ring. It's a single channel campaign. It's an email. Move through this, pick a random segment. I've got my active subscribers of 0 people. Burner account. Let's create the email here. I've downloaded all of the sections I need. Bin all this crap. We can leave the unsubscribe button in for now. Open the file I just exported from Klaviyo and let's just start dragging the stuff in. Hopefully it exported all correctly, otherwise we'll go and slice things up. But people go, oh, you can't have image only emails, it'll impact your deliverability. It's not true. With good deliverability practice across the board, having image only emails is not going to impact your deliverability. We've seen next to no downside from implementing this. There are ways to avoid it though, which I will get to. I'm just making sure all of this uploads. Now, super simple. You've got all this in. The key trick here, or the trick to like improve your deliverability using image-only emails, is to add a text block at the bottom here. This is what we call deliverability text. Now, this has been around for ages, but you pretty much add a text block here, which consists of different things from your privacy policy. It's a really great way to add no promotional text to an email, because essentially Gmail's trying to judge like how promotional is your email, and all marketing message copy, like that all gets detected as like, I don't know, different forms of marketing material, and it makes you more likely to land in the promotions. That, and combined with the image only, you know, I would usually use GPT or something just to create, like, to turn this into some sort of like deliverability text, because this is obviously a mess. But for example, go get my privacy policy. I'd run it through GPT and say, summarize this in like 200 words to add to the bottom of my email footer. And then I would paste that in there. I'd obviously design up my footer and stuff as well. But then you want to do, you add all your old text in, just summaries of like what you have in the thing, add all your links in, and then you're good to schedule. It's super simple. Like, go through, add your subject line, the one that we had here, built for professional, where is it? Serious people don't wear fitness trackers. The tracker that looks like jewelry, not a gadget. Go next. Then we'd schedule it. Super simple. Email done. That's all you need to do. Now, that is us done. We pretty much just spent an hour minus sort of 5 or 10 minutes I had to spend taking a call. But we pretty much just spent an hour on the dot designing and creating this email. What time did we start? I think we started at like 10 to 9. It's now 20 past 10. Had a call in the middle, made a coffee, and we're good to go. Email done, designed. It looks beautiful. It's in Klaviyo. And I spent pretty much like 30 minutes bumming around trying to get the brand guidelines sorted. So all the hard stuff, like the brand guidelines, that you do that once, and then you have this saved in your Figma. And like you can see for like this client, for example, here, we've got all this sorted with the brand guidelines dialed and components dialed. So we can reuse this and reuse the brand guidelines. All the typography and colors stay consistent. So you're not, playing guessing games with how you want things to look. Obviously at the design sort of branding here as well. But like the copy was the easy bit. The design templates and the sections was the easy bit. It was just getting the brand guidelines down. So once you have that, you can see how you could easily use the combination of Claude and good templates and systems on Figma. Once you have the brand guidelines, you'd easily be able to do that, no questions asked. Now, throughout this video, I just went through a ton of techniques that you can apply to your email marketing for your e-commerce brand, from coming up with this brief brand personas to copywriting on Claude, laying out sections, using your copywriting SOP, and then obviously the whole design in Figma and the setup in Klaviyo. But I was in such a rush to get that done in an hour, playing around with all the brand guidelines, so I didn't go through everything you might need to come up with really effective campaigns. So click this video on the screen or head to my channel where I go into way more depth about building effective email campaigns right from ideation all the way through to the execution. Or if you'd like to skip the hassle, click the link in the description. My team and I will do a full audit of your Klaviyo account, show you all the areas of opportunity, and show you what it would look like to possibly partner with us to run your email campaigns, flows, and your entire Klaviyo account. Hope you enjoyed and took some value out of this video. See you next time.